Hello, my Rosy readers. How are you lovely people today? Yeah, sorry for the slight pause there. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to start off with what I'm thinking of as my new introduction or just, start off with a whole old hello everyone. But as you can tell, I changing over to the Rosy Readers, I figured this video would be the appropriate place to start doing that, as it is called Rosy Posy Splay. This particular house, again, is inspired by a Design Home picture from the Design Home app, and which will, again, like with all the other videos, be shown at the end of this video, so you can compare and contrast, if you will. Now, this month is going to be a little bit interesting. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do for the rest of this month. I mean, like I said, obviously this one was already set up and ready to roll. It is also inspired by Saint Therese of Lisieux, whose feast day likes to bounce around. Today is technically supposed to be but apparently it's also on the 1st, so yeah, it's going to vary. But anyways, so yeah, it's inspired by Saint Therese of Lisieux, whose book I'm also reviewing tomorrow. Sorry, I had a little brain freeze there. But like I said, this was all set up until this point. From here on out, things might change a little bit. I mean, I've got a few ideas for how to do the rest of the builds. It all depends on if things are going to work out, because I also have to get a heads up start, if you will, next month's videos, because we're moving into our new house and that's going to be all happening in the beginning of November, so I have the rest of this month, or really at least the rest of October, to get things situated. And just the writing, I've been down in a slightly, like the pits of despair, if you will, as one of my friends likes to call it. The pits of despair for a little while there. Think of finally getting things back up. I could not finish a few chapters, and then the other day I finished, a couple of chapters, and I'm like, yes, finally. So I'm finally getting out of that, and just getting into major writing. Things are going to be also a little different with the posting on that, and just going from there on out. So yeah, it's been an interesting time, to say the least. But yes, I wanted to try and get some of this taken care of. Like I said, November's coming up, and then December, and I'm gonna have to get another job again. Right now it's fine, but unless something actually changes, I'm gonna definitely have to go for more of a full well, rather a part-time job, but if I have to, I will get a full-time job. It's just, I do want to keep doing this. I want to keep writing. I want to write as much as I can. I mean, like I said, obviously this last couple of weeks, but at the end of September, I was reaching a little lull there, and I just did not want to get up and do anything. But now that it's October, and things are coming out with the holidays stuff and all that, and I really like, that's part of the stuff that I like, is all the holiday decorations, and all that. Halloween, well, not all the Halloween decorations, more like the harvest and Thanksgiving, if you will. As a Catholic, I don't celebrate Halloween the same way as the rest of the world. We do Hallowmas. So Halloween, All Saints Day, which is November 1st, and then Dia de... I apologize. I always get these two words mixed up. Dia de los Muertos. The All Souls Day in the Catholic tradition. So we celebrate it that way. But the autumn theme is, definitely one of my favorites. I think it was just time for me needing a little bit of, needing that seasonal change and get into the seasonal mood. So, for the next few builds, I'm going to try and do... How should I put this? But, I mean... I don't know how to best explain what it is. So anyway, I'm just gonna not worry about that. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna try and do things differently. Speaking of the Rosy readers, I was wondering if that would be something you also be interested in. That's because that's what was kind of part of the change, is me doing, in order to do more book reviews, I could do Sims videos and, talk about certain books. Because a lot of the videos, or at least some of the Sims builds recently have corresponded to a particular book that I've already done a review. Like, for instance, this one. It's pertaining to the Saint Therese book that I'm going to be reviewing tomorrow, or at least it's going to be coming up tomorrow. And, so if you've read the book, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was trying to think of something else, and I was like, no, come back. Anyways, so I've been thinking that, I've been trying to do a lot more Sims builds kind of similar to the books that I'm reviewing. Last month that obviously didn't quite work out the same way. But also, then again, I didn't exactly have any builds in mind for those books. The Saints books I did, and those are the ones that got it. A few of the upcoming books might, simply because, they're all Halloween books. And, well, not exactly Halloween, I would say, because I'll read them any time of the year. Halloween's not the only time I'm going to read these books. But, just... Oh, that's the other thing. Some of the houses that I'm thinking of doing don't exactly have an overall autumn feel to it. You kind of have to, like, oh, okay, so we'll have it at night, give it a few lights, make it, look like it's older, and there you go. Put a few pumpkins here and there, and yeah, good. I guess. But, yeah, because if you're gonna look at it in springtime, it's like, oh, it looks fine. So it's like, it don't quite have the exact same feel. But, there's like this house, Rosy, Posy, Splay. And like I said, it's inspired by Saint Therese. I did try to bring in a few of the autumn aspects to it, even though Saint Therese is known primarily for answering her novenas with roses. She likes to shower people with roses, and so that's her thing, is that when she answers a prayer, you'll get a rose. And some people will ask for, like, specific color roses, and whatever color rose you get, that's, like, the answer. So, like, say, for instance, you're praying a novena to Saint Therese, and you're asking, okay, should I... What's it? Trying to think of a good scenario, because sometimes you're just like, there's some things that you're like, you just need to make your own decisions, and, what is a good one? Oh, here we go. Oh, your vocation. in whichever path God wants you to take. Say, for instance, okay, is God calling you to be a religious? Or, calling you to the married life, or calling you to single life. Let's say, for instance, you'd pick white for the religious life, pink for the single, and red for the marriage life. It just, I was just picking those colors in that specific order. There's no good or bad colors. Just, those are the colors I'm thinking of. Just to give you an idea. And if she answers with a red rose, you're like, okay, so I'm supposed to be married. God has called me to the married life. And then you can, proceed down that. Or if she answers with a pink rose, you're like, okay, so I guess I'm supposed to be, single and just do the work that God has set me to do in this world by not getting married or not even going to the religious life. I mean, there are such an order as a tertiary, and a lot of saints like Saint Rosy of Lima became tertiaries and lived in the world, and they're basically singles for God. And they didn't get married, but they also didn't live in a religious location, if you will. They weren't straight up nuns and monks and priests. So, stuff like that. Just to have your options open. So that's Saint Therese. So, I did try to bring a few of those elements. So it's kind of like a mix of roses and October, if you will. So, and you might see a few of that here in the screenshots that we're in right now. But also another thing is that a part of her life deals with the swing set, and that's one thing I remember from her book as well. She's out there swinging. There's a little incident between her and her papa. That's one of those instances that really stuck out of my mind, and so I got a swing set. Anyways, if you take a look at the picture that's coming up here at this end of this video, there are no stone path. I just simply added that because it looked weird without it. So, yes, sorry about that little mishmash of interesting tidbits, but thanks for coming to the video. Hope you like it. Hope to see you next time. Saint Therese.